Okay. And now we wait. And there we go. Okay.
Adrian.
Adrian and Dino. Nice to see your names coming on in. Okay. Well, we'll give it just another minute. Really cruise on to the top of the hour before we get things officially kicked off. Let a few more folks join us. And Adam and Mike, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
And for
My
our
pleasure.
riveting discussion about what vitamins I'm taking, which we did
Hey,
right
good.
before this. It's not
That's
all
important.
data, you know, or maybe it is. Like, that's a data point too.
Share your magic vitamin cocktail with the audience.
That's it. That's it.
That's right.
Next time we'll start by talking about how much water we drink.
Hashtag not medical advice.
Yeah, right. Definitely not. Definitely not. Great. Okay. All right. I see everybody coming in. So this is great. And we will officially get ourselves kicked off. I would like to, let's just make sure. Yep, we're recording. So welcome. Thank you everybody for joining us today. My name is Kalia Garrido and I head up marketing and events here at Great Data Minds, which is now a Hike2 company. So if you haven't met us yet, Great Data Minds is a collective of passionate data activists, and we are on a mission to modernize the world of data, and we do this in two different ways. The first is that we have our services arm. This is where we do strategic planning, education, and the deployment of critical data projects. That happens at hike2.com. And in addition to our data services, Hike2 is a fully functional, best-in-class innovation consultancy that specializes in digital transformation, strategy, design, and implementations. Now, when it comes to our data and analytics community, content, and conversation, just like what we're up to today, you can find more about what we're doing at hike2.com/events. And you can also find us on Eventbrite, where you'll find all of the things that we have coming up, and follow us on YouTube if you'd like to see the recordings of events just like this. So a little bit of housekeeping before we get going. This is a webinar, so of course your cameras and microphones are off, but we would love you to interact with us. We do encourage engagement via the chat, the Q&A, and if you would like to wait, we'll reserve a little bit of time at the end of the session for a more formal kind of question and answer. And of course, we are recording, and like I said, it's going to be posted to the YouTube channel. We always get questions about that. So yes, we are recording today's session. So allow me to do some introductions for our special guest today. We have Adam Carpenter with us. He is the Chief Data Officer at the state of Montana, and he's currently working to modernize Montana's data infrastructure by breaking down data silos and improving citizen data accessibility. Adam has 10 years of experience in machine learning. He's been guiding Montana's data maturity journey, and he is dedicated to leadership, mentoring, and sharing his love for data science. Adam, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
Let's do this. All right. My partner in crime, per usual, Mr. Mike Lampa is joining us. He is a seasoned data expert in digital transformation. He focuses on modernizing enterprise and data analytics programs. He's got over 20 years of experience, and he excels in implementing advanced technology tools and platforms. His expertise and dedication have driven successful transformations and empowered organizations to thrive in the ever-changing digital era. Mike, thank you for joining me, and please do take it away.
Thank you, Kalia. And Adam, how are you, my friend? And Sarah, how are you?
I'm well. Yeah, good to chat with you.
Yeah,
we
likewise.
might as well put a camera on for what we would be doing over a dinner or something anyway, right?
Yeah. I enjoy our little fireside-oriented chats.
Yeah.
And to that point, let's just get into it. One of the things I'm going to offer up to the audience is over the course of the last, I'll say 2.5 years. From my perspective, the state's made some really impressive strides around establishing a data and analytics mindset, with, around literacy and awareness and all those kinds of things. And it's permeating across multiple agencies. How did you get this started? How did this come about? Because from, like I said, from my perspective, pretty impressive traction. Yeah.
It's, first I want to say I'm really proud of everybody that we work with at the state, all of our partners and agencies and so on. That's a big part of why we've gotten it done so quickly, is we have so many wonderful people. But it starts with a governor that it really cares about this process, right? Really cares about data analytics. This is a governor who started his own technology company and then sold it to Oracle before he got into politics. And it's a governor who knows how to run a large organization, and so he demands metrics and planning like SMART and OGSM, which requires you actually measure what you're doing and report on it, which has suddenly driven his top level management to push down the chain this idea that, look, we have to actually start counting the numbers and telling people what we're doing. And so that helps that culture permeate very quickly when it comes all the way from the top and is part of, the way you now operate. And then
Mhm.
it's, you mix that in with, I brought my experience. I started in AI and machine learning as was mentioned before, but I went to consulting a few years before joining the state and went there to lead their machine learning and AI practice for the Western United States. And we pretty quickly realized almost none of our clients were actually ready to go on that journey. They needed to go on their data maturity journey first. And so I really became this sort of CDO on loan, and that allowed me to go industry to industry, whether it's DoD aerospace manufacturing or medical or HR, hospitality, you name it, and realize they all have, if you zoom out enough, at least the same set of problems with the same set of, not exactly the same set of solutions, but the same set of best practice approaches, right? And so the solution may look different from a vendor perspective or from an order, or depends on what state they're in. But at the end of the day, the end state you want to get to is pretty consistent across all these organizations. And so that, I think, helped a lot, because as you get to the state, it's the breadth of it is enormous, right? There are 20 agencies in the executive branch, a number of constitutional agencies that are enormous. Health and Human Services is as large as a Fortune 500 company, is the largest insurance provider in the state, and the largest epidemiological research lab in the state. And that's two of their 18 divisions, right? And so the size is just enormous. And that led us to setting ourselves up as sort of a consultancy, right? Where the CDO office is this internal best practice center of excellence shop. And by starting that way, we allowed ourselves to get the people who were the early movers, the people who were going to be our best allies anyway, right? To come to us and get a win and then go tell that story, right? And when your best champions are out there telling that story, it gets the next one in the door and the next one in the door. And 2, 3 years later, you've got 34 projects running concurrently, and the state looks a lot different than it did, right? And so that's sort of the formula we've used is have the support from the top, obviously, but also just set up an approach that's flexible and that starts with your champions.
Yeah, yeah. And that's a great model. I mean, certainly we are always striving to see that happen in the private sector, where,
Right.
help the business domains, which I'll make the logical equivalent to your agencies. I mean,
Yeah.
when I look at a state, it's huge, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it's just this monster enterprise, right? Um, you know, Shift gears a little bit. One of the things that Julie Burrows and I have always preached, and Kaylee helps us get this message out, is constantly lean in towards the more modern technologies in your data
Yeah.
and analytics space. And and when I look at the enabling technology stack that you put together, it definitely quacks of being on the modern end of
Yeah.
the continuum. How'd you go about settling in and vetting the technologies?
Yeah, no, it's a great question. I mean, I think first you can start with some high level assumptions. One, the public sector kind of has no business being in the cutting edge space, if you will. It's not taxpayers don't really want us to experiment with their money, if that makes
Mm.
sense, right? You know what I mean? So we're not in the early movers camp, but we should be right behind it, right? Where
Uh-huh.
once something's been proven, great. If we can afford to do it and it actually improves our lives, saves us money, et cetera, then we should do it. So that's to start with, right? And that helps you eliminate like, okay, well, we don't need any of the newest AI. We don't need, and I call it AI just because it's popular right now, but anything, right? You know, we'll wait till it gets proven. But we also shouldn't be sitting on old legacy systems. So to answer the question, part of it is back to the governor, in fact. When he came into office, he put forward a policy that was COTS first, consumer off the shelf, and cloud first, right? In other words, don't custom build it yourself if there's something out there that can do it, and don't build another data center, just use the cloud. And
Mhm.
there's a few reasons I actually want to articulate about why that's really, really important. Not just that he set the policy, but why the policy itself is important. Um, and that is, I don't know, somewhere 2017, 2018, I think, is when it really switched over to cloud being a more cost-effective approach. And the reason is simply economies of scale. If you think about how you have to build a data center, right? You always have to build every server in your data center sort of for your worst day of the year, right? So your accounting system can't crash at end of year close when the accountants are all hammering away at the system. So that server's got to be built powerful enough for that. Or, you can virtualize, et cetera, but even then, your virtual server has to be set up for your worst day, right?
Mhm.
And it's also when you invest in a data center, every single asset you purchase is a depreciating asset except for the real estate.
Mhm.
So you're essentially just leasing something anyway, right? Because in 5, 10 years, you're going to pay somebody to recycle it for you.
Mhm.
And so you end up in this no-win situation where with the cloud you get fixes for both of those problems, right? You no longer have to be in the software management game. You don't have to pay electric bills and all of those things. You pay some overhead for that. So the cost per, say, processor clock is a little bit more expensive. But then you think about the fact that even in the best case for an on-prem server, the majority of the day your server is sitting idle or
Mhm.
more than half idle, right? So even in the case of an e-com retailer on Black Friday, right, they have to plan for whatever their peak is on Black Friday. So 2 a.m. on Black Friday, their server is spending a lot of time doing nothing, right?
Mhm.
Because they're only getting a trickle of what they're going to get when they get to their peak. And so the cloud allows you to get into a place where you have as flexible a resource usage as you need. And the reason I'm sort of down in these weeds a little bit is because it really, really matters to getting things done that you don't have to deal with these big capital expenditure problems that you do with on-prem. If you're making a choice, hey, we want to modernize data. Okay, well, upfront, I'm going to need $2 million to build out your server farm or your VM or whatever it is. Okay, well, never mind. We don't have it,
Yeah.
right? But if you can come up with in this world of pay as you go, use only what you need when you need it, you can start with 10 grand or 20 grand and get something done, right? And so the often what we do is we preach this, look, start with 50 grand, use 50 to save yourself 70, and you funded your next project, right? With a little bit of overhead. And so you just
Mhm.
keep that process rolling. And people start getting excited about that. And to give an example, so we had um, a project in child safety where child safety had 5 district offices along with the central office in the state, uh, and files were held in physical form in filing cabinets spread across these 5 different regional offices. Now, I don't know how many know this, but Montana is the fourth biggest state in the United States, right after California. It's absolutely enormous and empty. It's the second emptiest state in the United States, right? We have, on average, less than 6 people per square mile. So
Mhm.
um, it's a long way between regional offices. And if you need a file for a child that's in danger, again, this is the most vulnerable of the most vulnerable. You're going to have to call and find the right district office, and they're going to have to go dig it out of a filing cabinet and make copies and FedEx it to you. And right, you start to see the problem. And for I think the total project cost was 208,000. We digitized 9 million records. And now there is a portal you can go to. There is a call center you can call that has access to the central store if you don't want to self-serve. Um, and response time went from days or weeks to hours or days, right?
Mhm.
And And for a cost that is, it's, essentially it saved 400,000 per year in labor and 30,000 per year in FedEx costs alone,
Mm.
all for an outlay that was less than just the annual operating expense that it saved, right? And that's what I mean by that sort of operating expense, capital expense model. If we'd had to shell out $2 million, we're not going to see that return for, in this case, 2.5 years, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And not counting maintenance on the system, by the way. Um, and and that is just crushing. That stops, especially in public, but in private as well. That stops a lot of projects before they start because you have to take a big risk on what is at the time an unknown reward. It's a black
Yeah.
box often in technology, right? So let's shell out 2 million and then try to invent a solution to this thing. Good luck,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
As
Yeah.
opposed to, okay, let's spend 50 grand and see if this thing works, and if it
Yeah.
doesn't, oh well, we're out 50 grand. It's not the worst thing in the world. And
Yeah.
and usually it will work, right? So it's a pretty good odds game. So that's a big part of it, right? Is moving to that with tools like Snowflake, which is what the state is centralized on for data. An agency can get in for $6,000 and have enough capacity for the full year. And then if they vastly expand their footprint and need to spend more, they're very, very willing because they're the ones using it, right? It
Yeah.
got more expensive because they got value out of it. And so they end up coming. We never go to them and go, hey, you're getting to your limit. They come to us and they're like, hey, we want to do more and we're worried
Yeah.
we're hitting our limit. Can we have some more credits, right? And so it becomes this, people are happy, the pay-as-you-go models, I think, scare people when they're approaching them the first time, but it ends up saving you a ton of money because you almost always overestimate. If you're buying in bulk ahead of time, you almost always overestimate your need and then
Hmm.
end up with this big lump sitting at the end that you didn't use, right? That's waste. And so,
Yeah.
this is a better approach, I think.
Yeah. I love the whole incremental. Let's take a little bite and see if we can generate a return on that, because that's
Right.
just a self-feeding model. Um, and it generates, to your earlier point, that's what starts to get people fired up and start to evangelize across the agencies. It's like, hey,
Well, and Harvard Business Review spoke about this, right? I mean, they had an article, I want to say it was 2007, that I think the headline was 86% of large scale IT projects go over time or over budget,
yeah.
right? And you read the article and that's not a misleading headline. I mean, that's essentially what the research says. And what they found is it's large. The keyword is large, right? If you break that project down into pieces that a human can sort of keep between their ears and
Hmm.
manage, then a PM can keep all the balls in the air. But, a juggler can only handle so many objects at once. And once it gets to be too many, things start dropping. And it's the same
Hmm.
with the project. Once it gets too big, it is simply inevitable that things will fall. Everything that falls is waste and you spend money on later, right?
Yeah.
So,
I'm going to connect a couple dots. You mentioned that prior to coming to the state, you did a stint as a consultant, and you got
yeah,
exposed to a lot of different organizations and whatnot.
yeah.
Um, and if I connect that dot to the fact that you do have some impressive adoption rates and literacy leveling up rates happening within the state, um, what is the model? What's your operating model out of the chief data officer's office, the office of chief data?
Yes, indeed. Yes, or as my kids call me, the chief data officer. I keep my dad jokes in my database for the record. Um, that joke was told to me by my children. Um, it's the best joke I have, by the way.
Yeah, it's a good one.
It is. It's phenomenal. So, and you sort of nailed it, right? We act as an internal consulting agency. So we're here, we set ourselves up as the center of excellence. We put out a data strategy. And we have some indirect power in the sense that, when we put out the data strategy, we were brought in by the state COO under direct orders from the governor. So the governor backed our play, right? I mean, the governor said, look, this is the strategy. Everybody needs to follow it. So while we don't have the power to force you into a system, in general, people are required to follow or to work with us, if you will, right?
Mhm.
at least to listen. And so the first thing we did was, and this is the first thing I'd recommend any C-level do, because I think C-levels do a lot of damage when they come in with a one-size-fits-all approach,
Mm.
is we listened. We spent, 3 months just listening, just talking to people. But, I remember what in the 90s, right? Clinton was asked how he'd gotten so many votes in the 96 election, and his answer, I think, was, "It's the economy, stupid." And what he meant by that was essentially that eh, people aren't always experts in all these obscure issues, right? All these secondary political issues. But what every single person is an expert in is, how am I doing, right? And so when you go around an organization, you start talking to people about their experiences, they are eager even to tell you about all of the headaches and annoyances they have in
Mm.
relation to what it is you do, right? And it, for one, it's some catharsis, but two, they want help. Everybody wants help. Nobody goes to work wanting to have a frustrating day with an annoying system or process. And so you go out and you listen, and you have people left, right, and center that are eager and willing to tell you about their headaches, their pet peeves, the biggest problems they have, and you just start peeling those off, uh, and prioritizing them basically by saying, like, okay, well, what's the biggest bang for the smallest buck, right? And
Yeah.
we just organize the list that way, and we work our way through it. And fortunately, with this many organizations, we can parallel a lot of things, right? That,
Mhm.
each org can work on one project at a time, kind of thing. So
Mhm.
that helps. But it's also a big part of it is the cultural change model, right? And you and I have talked about this before. You can't change a culture quickly. You can't force it. If I
Mhm.
had come in to the state and spoken to agencies about their data systems, the way I can now, they would have glazed over and started snoring right in my face, right?
Uh-huh.
But in 3 years, because we've taken this approach of consistently trying to slightly raise the level of data literacy in every interaction, in every conversation, right? So every time we present to the legislature, we make the presentation we add a couple concepts that we didn't last time. And we sort
Mhm.
of slowly, almost, it's the frog in the boiling water analogy, right? Where they
Mhm.
almost don't notice that they're becoming data literate because we're feeding it to them so slowly. And that's the point. It shouldn't be painful, right? It should
Mhm.
be this thing you just can learn through osmosis, at least to the level they need to. And so by constantly having these conversations and reinforcing that data literacy, we raise the ability for people in the state to have these more complex conversations, to engage in this. And then, pretty now we're at the point where people come to us with ideas instead of us
Mhm.
coming to them with an idea for a solution to their problem. People come to us and they're like, "Hey, we were thinking Snowflake could probably do this and handle this problem that we've got." And we're like, "Great, yeah, we'll help you do it."
Mhm.
And so part of it was that. And I think the last thing I'll mention is, when we set ourselves up as this sort of consultancy, this internal consultancy, one of the first things we did was make a sort of menu of services, if you will. Um,
Mhm.
and the idea was to let people know that they can come to us at any stage of the process. Do you have a data project that is at the 11th hour and you just want to make sanity check it? Do you have are you starting from absolute zero and need to have a discovery conversation on if there's
Mhm.
anything you should even do about data, and everything in between, right? And so we sort of laid out this graphic, this walking path, a roadmap where agencies can sort of see themselves on one of those nodes and go, okay, they have something for us, right? And that helped break down well, we didn't want to bother you because we're not as bad off as that agency, or we're in such bad shape we didn't even think you'd be able to help, and
Uh-huh.
all of those things that cause people to hesitate. Because at the end of the day, the first problem you have to solve is the human problem, the
Mhm.
buy-in problem, right?
Yeah.
People want better, but they don't necessarily think you can deliver it. And especially in public, they've been sold magic bullet after magic bullet after magic bullet that just didn't work, right?
Right.
And so some of them are sitting in 20 some odd year old systems
Yeah.
that, 3 replacements for which have failed. And that's why they're still in it or whatever,
Yeah.
and
And
they're
those
$2
bullets were
million
like
into.
big ones,
Right,
right?
right. Right. And this, this happens a lot. And it can be very difficult to get something to change, right?
Yeah.
And so um getting buy-in is a number one. And so making yourself available, and as simple as this sounds, easy to work with. I mean,
Mm,
I think that's the primary review that we get to the sort of management level above us is, oh, they're just so easy to work with. Perfect. That's
yeah.
exactly what we needed, right?
Yeah.
We shouldn't be a chore, right? We should be a relief.
Yeah.
And
Well,
so
that would
that's,
make me a
yeah.
repeat customer. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the point. Is like, people, make yourself somebody people want to work with, and people will want to work with you. I
Yeah.
mean, as simple as that sounds, it really it has a profound effect on how quickly you can get things done, because people look forward to the meeting. They
Hmm.
don't do that. So we've all done this, where you, like, that
Absolutely.
email comes through and you're like, I don't have the bandwidth to deal with that right now, right?
Hmm.
And you're less likely to do that with somebody that just isn't going to be a headache, right?
Hmm.
You're much more
Yeah.
likely to get an email from me and go, oh, hey, Adam, da, da, da,
Yeah.
and answer real quick. And so it's just all these little delays get cut, and that speeds everything up. You know what I mean? And so it sounds simple, but it's kind of amazing how much just being easy to work with and decent
Yeah.
makes a difference.
Well, and leading with an empathy, interview model, right? It's like,
Well,
tell me your
absolutely.
pain. Yeah.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
yeah, what's bothering you? Again, that's also, people should do that also, not just because it's the right approach, but it's also the least painful approach. We've all been in those meetings where you're going through this painful, awkward silence and discovery, trying to dig out what it is we're doing here and they want or need or whatever, and trying to get them to start talking. And like I said, if you can just start asking them about what it is that drives them absolutely nuts in the morning, they've got a 10-minute rant loaded up. They're happy to tell you, right? And
Hmm.
so that's a different conversation. If you're asking people about what drives them crazy, they're loaded up. If you ask them what system do you think we need to build, they're like, I don't know. I don't even know what the range of answers is, right?
Right. Right.
And
Yeah.
so yeah, that having that conversation from an angle, from this perspective of empathy, I think is much more effective.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a reason leaned into it.
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
um, so the chief data officer and your office has a very consultative approach, right?
Mhm.
And the agencies have an opportunity to essentially buy in to the enabling technologies you offer. So it's a federated delivery model. Each agency has
Yep.
got kind of their own delivery organization. Does you does the extent of your consultation lean into helping the different agencies start to buy into consistent practices, proven approaches, so that over time from agency to agency, we're seeing recognized design patterns or whatnot?
No, I mean, you've given away the whole game, Mike. I mean, that's
Yeah.
that's really it, right? That's entirely it, in fact, is trying to move from we know two things, right? We know centralizing is impossible. There's no way an organization this big can run centrally. It
Yeah.
has to be distributed. And and we know that there's a huge inefficiency that comes with just a fractured technology stack, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just, some fracturing is probably, diversification is important to be sure, but this having 20 different people uh collecting citizen data in 20 different systems is definitely worse than having 20 of them use the same system of customer data, feeding into it and pulling out from it, clearly.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that's absolutely the game. And although I think you phrased it well there, right? Because it isn't necessarily getting on the same system. It's getting on the same type of system oftentimes, right? So for example, in the state, we have, by statute, each agency owns its data. The director essentially is the data owner,
Mm-hmm.
legally speaking. Now, obviously, that's the citizens' data it's held in trust, but the agency is responsible for its safekeeping, so that the buck stops somewhere, right?
Yeah.
And what that means is, one, agencies are obviously very, very protective of the data for which they hold. But two, it also means that centralizing in the old model of like, we're going to buy a data lake and put data from each agency into this lake, was an absolute non-starter. We knew we still wouldn't be 5 agencies in if that's the
Yeah.
way we'd started, right? And so what we had to do is find something that allowed us to centralize virtually, right? Snowflake had this organizations model where essentially each agency gets its own instance of Snowflake. They fully control the firewall rules, the identity management rules, et cetera. There are base requirements we have centrally dictated, right? You have to, take a least permissions approach, use single sign-on and two-factor, and whitelist to the state network, things like that. But for the most part, they control it, right? And while we require those things, we don't actually log in and do those things. My office has access to nobody's Snowflake instance, right? Um, and but because it's Snowflake, sharing that data agency to agency is now only one click of the, or a few clicks of the mouse, or a couple small lines of SQL code, right? And practically speaking, that removes a huge barrier from on data sharing between agencies, right? Because it comes down to three things. Can I do it practically? Like, what is the development project to do this data share? Can I do it ethically, right? Is it the right thing to do? And can I do it legally, right? And if you know that you have a huge burden on number one, we have a huge development project, then I'm not going to bother paying to consider the other two, which aren't cheap, right? Well, look, I'm not gonna do 3 months of legal research so that I can do 3 months of data development to hand you something for your benefit. Sorry, other agency, that's just not how this works.
Yeah.
If you remove that first one, well, now all of a sudden it's just the question of, can I legally and ethically do this, right? And there are ways to speed that up too. Good governance, data dictionary, right? The ability for the attorney to not have to go dig through obscure SQL servers located in random places in the network that they have to dig up, but just go look in a dictionary and see a preview. But it's it also just essentially gets you to the point of centralizing without centralizing. It removes a ton of the problems that come with not centralizing as well, right? The data on thumb drives floating around, and file shares, and all these other things, that each one of which is just a small breach in your security footprint, right? Now the data is shared all entirely within this encrypted space. And so, that's just an example of it they don't all need to be in the same Snowflake instance. It matters hugely that they are simply all on Snowflake, right?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that is for data dictionary and for uh, uh, data platform, Snowflake. We have this pick one, right? It doesn't make sense to centralize on multiple data platforms. But for everything else, we do what's called a managed choice model, right? Where we know that various agencies have different needs, right? Some agencies have a huge need for GIS. Some agencies have a huge need for one type of dashboarding versus another, et cetera. And so when it comes to dashboarding tools, we pick, a number of them. We have Tableau, we have Power BI, we have uh, ThoughtSpot, we have a number of them. And agencies can pick whatever it is they want. And that especially matters in Montana. We have just over 1 million people in the state. It is not easy to find, 5 Tableau developers for every single agency. That just isn't a thing that's going to happen in the tiny town of Helena. And so we have to be able to diversify that skill set, or let agencies pick the tool that matches the skill set they've happened to hire, right? You hire an analyst, and maybe that analyst happens to know, Click, or whatever other Looker, or whatever other tool is out there that you might want to use. Okay, well, fine. But let's what we do is then, as a central office, is sort of vet the best of those, put them through security review, et cetera, so that if an agency wants to grab one of those arrows out of the quiver, it's ready to go. It's sharp, it's feathered, it's ready to shoot, right? And that's the point, is um, to give them the option. But to have it to have all the pre-vetting done, because state procurement can be such a slog
Yeah.
that oftentimes it's like, well, okay, why wait 9 months? Never mind. There's no point. I need these results in a month. Okay, well, we've got a tool ready. It's already been reviewed. We've already got a sort of starter contract. You'll just have to amend it real quick to your capacity and go.
Yeah.
And so that's a big part of the approach too.
Yeah. I like that managed choice model. All right.
Yeah.
So with the creative juices that are continuing to percolate and produce some goodness across the agencies in the states, without asking you to let the cat out of the bag, where where are you guys going next? What's going to what kind of things are we going to be doing in the future?
Yeah. It's a good question. I mean, we are moving into this phase where, as you've helped us with already, we're going to be doing more and more of going from, the raw and slightly refined layers of our data footprint, our data lake, to refined reporting data where
Mhm.
applicable, at least. It's not always necessary, as you know, but the Kimball model, right? This model of star schema of essentially flattening out, denormalizing your data, and then putting it into a format that's built for reads instead of built for writes.
Mhm.
Uh, OLAP, if you will, um, is definitely our next step. We have a ton of data that is still in its very complex form, or even more often, a ton of data that is a combination of data from a legacy system and data from the current system, or even multiple legacy systems in the current system, which means even the data isn't even self-consistent, right? You can't even go in and do a query out of a consistent OLTP system in a lot of
Mhm.
these cases. And so we've got to do the work of getting those data sets conformed, union together, if you will, and then denormalized and put into a state where a human can actually get to them. And you and I have seen the magic that this process of dimensional modeling can do, where a transactional database of 500 tables is simplified for a reporting user down to a star schema with 7 tables or 10
Yeah.
tables, right?
Mhm.
And it's mind blowing. People can't believe the sort of, you show them the UML side by side, and one of them is completely illegible, and one of them, even a layman sort of looks at it and goes, "Oh, okay, I kind of get what's there, right? It's,
Uh-huh.
sales by date and product, and um, and so getting there, we've got a long way to go on that front. It Part of that solution is folks like yourself. You've helped us do this a couple times already. Part of that solution is also, I think we're sort of waiting. There are a few people who are experimenting with AI dimensional modeling,
Mhm.
and I think it's going to be a long time before that gets to 100%. But I'm happy with Pareto. If you can get me to 80%, and then we can continue to hire great partners like Haiku and so on to come in and take us that last 20, do that bit of work that really takes a human mind with experience to do.
Yeah.
I think that's huge. But I really am looking forward to seeing the advance of AI in that space,
Yeah.
because I think it's an easier problem to solve than large language modeling, frankly, just from my AI experience. I think
Mhm.
that was a harder problem to solve, although a more popular one, which is why it went first. But everybody wants to have a conversation with a new being, right?
Yep.
Um, but I think that'll be a huge step forward for the field,
Yeah. Yeah.
honestly.
It'll be a huge win for you as well. Uh, what a brilliant, as always, it's a brilliant dialogue that I get to have with you, Adam.
It's
and
fun. I'm
yeah,
gonna scoot just a little because this sun is really coming in on me.
yeah. So, Kaylee, I don't know if we got any questions coming in from the audience or not. We can give folks a few minutes to see if they want to ask Adam any questions of interest in their mind.
Absolutely. We do have a question, but like Mike said, if there's any other questions, please feel free to use the chat or the
Can't can't hear
Q&A
you.
feature.
You
Can you hear
you're
me
Uh,
okay?
it's
your
coming.
mic's, yeah, echoing or
Let's
It
try
didn't
that.
connect right.
How's that? Better?
getting-
That's better.
It's getting better. Yep.
I drifted. I went too far away. This is what happens. Okay. So we do have a question coming in, and like Mike said, if anybody has any additional questions, please feel free to use the Q&A function or the chat, or kind of raise your hand and let us know. But you said a few interesting, I guess maybe not one-liners, but it felt kind of like one-liners, Adam. One of the things that you mentioned was public sector has no business in the cutting edge space. And so that sort of does beg the question, how important is it for government entities, states, counties, cities, to collaborate with and or take a page from the private sector on what works and what doesn't? We know they're able to work at the speed of whatever they want, but it's different when you're in the government. So how do you balance that line?
I mean, I think where applicable, which is a big asterisk here, that's the approach that public should always take. What is the Fortune 500 doing about this, right? On average, right? Um, it doesn't always work. There are a bunch of things that public does that no private organization does. No private organization, collects disease samples from hospitals and has to liaise with the CDC. That's just a completely unique sort of, and maybe that's a bad example, but there are livestock brands. I mean, there are just so many things that are just utterly unique to public. And so even there, it's still partially the right approach, right? I mean, we still looked at like, well, we have a problem with brands and handwritten brands, and it's all done on paper, by a guy in muddy boots with a clipboard standing somewhere that is an hour from cell service or internet. So we're not just solving this with ServiceNow or something like that. And then okay, well, what have other organizations just done about image processing then, right? You look, and like the New York Times used Google to process their entire photo basement, right? Their vault of 150 years of photos or something like that. And so you start seeing like people are using the big three for a lot of this image processing stuff. Okay, well, maybe we can do that. I mean, a hand-drawn brand isn't the hardest image I think they've ever had to solve. And so that's what we're working with. It's one of the things we're working on now. And so that's a big part of it. And I do want to be careful with my previous statement. I mean, I'll say public has a place in the cutting edge when it comes to research. I mean, the government is actually fairly good at research, but that has to be the stated purpose of the program, right? Yeah. I think I would amend it to say the government has no place being on the cutting edge to solve average everyday problems, right? I mean, unless the program's purpose is to push the cutting edge, they shouldn't be. Go buy something that's tested and true. Don't experiment with my tax money, please.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I love that. And I'll put a plug in for livestock management. I thought I had seen all the coolest business models. And I was stunned at the level of complexity that goes into tracking
It's incredible.
your livestock. Yes.
It's incredible. Well, yeah, this is it's wild because this is, a hundreds-year-old industry. Governments have been having to track livestock and manage property rights around it, who owns what bit of livestock, et cetera, for centuries.
Yeah.
And there's a huge pile of case law on this in the UK and Europe, all over the world. And so, yeah, it's you get into it, you start talking to people at livestock and you realize like, oh, this is like one of the world's oldest industries. Like this is ancient. This has been going on a long time. And a lot of it is still done that way because they had to find solutions for this stuff. And well, I mean, maybe we've digitized it or whatever. Like fundamentally the same thing is like we're still branding cattle, right? We're still and it matters. Like it
does.
One of the most interesting things that we went through with livestock was learning how so a huge part of how we learned how to do contact tracing during COVID was from these livestock groups because they do this constantly. Every time there's a brucellosis outbreak, mad cow, et cetera, you've got to be able to track that brand, what other animals were in that herd, what herds those herds interacted with, on and on. I mean, in this sort of ad infinitum way. And I mean, those guys, like livestock has drones and things like that I mean, it's it is a remarkable process. It really
It
is.
truly is. It is.
You wouldn't
Uh,
expect them to have drones,
yeah.
like predator style drones, like these big flying runway style drones. It's wild.
Yeah. Well, Adam, as always, an incredible experience with you, and kudos to the entire state, from the governor down to all the different agency heads that I'm starting to get to interact with, and you and the people in there developing these solutions. Just a great story, and I hope the message gets out in other states. Take a couple pages from your book and look into it, because it certainly will help our nation improve, without a
Yeah,
doubt.
absolutely. No, I thank you, Mike. It's always a great conversation. And I think, and we have a few minutes left. I want to leave with this one story here that the governor likes to tell, that really sort of brings it home why doing this work is so important. Not just how to do it and how to be good at it, but why this work is so important. And when he was on the campaign trail, people kept coming up to him and asking him, or this developers specifically kept coming up and asking him, why can't I get a sewer permit in your state? It's impossible, right? And he said, well, I don't know, but elect me and I'll find out, right? Typical answer. And he gets in office, and sure enough, he starts looking into this, and it turns out that uh, environmental quality, DEQ, is responsible for sewer permitting in the state, right? And they built a system about, at the time, 12 years ago, so that'd be 15 years ago now, or 16 years ago, um, to automatically parse these sewer applications, right? It was looking for 5 things that need to be included in your application, right? Think engineering spec, etc.
Uh-huh.
And the system, one of the 5 things that it was programmed to look for was slightly incorrect. So it was one of the things it was looking for was the wrong thing, didn't match what was listed on the website. And so there's a 90-day statutory response time. We have to respond in 90 days, whatever the answer is. So the system would take this application from anybody, immediately reject it because one of the 5 things was not what it was looking for, even though it was incorrectly looking for the wrong thing.
Mm-hmm.
It would then hold it for 89 days and then inform you that your application had been rejected because one of the 5 things you submitted wasn't right. And so you'd go to the website and go, well, yes, it was. I submitted the right thing. And so it turned out that unless you knew somebody in DEQ, you couldn't get a sewer permit. The system automatically rejected 99% of sewer permit applications for 12 years. 12 years. And it turns out about 17% of people knew somebody at DEQ they could call, which means about 18% of sewer permit applications were approved over the course of that 12-year time span. 82% were rejected. Now, the people that know somebody, those are sort of local developers, and that's great. I'm always rooting for local small businesses, but it isn't helping home buyers that D.R. Horton and all these other larger builders simply can't play in the state because they don't know what the rule set is, and it isn't worth it to them to find out, right?
Mm.
And so I want you to think about what the housing market implications are of 82% of applicants being unable to be allowed by the government to build a house on the sewer system. Because you can't, everybody's like, well, just build septic. Okay, but you can't do that in a sewer area, right? So like if
Yeah.
you're building a subdivision in a neighborhood, you have to build it on the city's sewer. You can't put a septic in the middle of town, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so you're required to be on the sewer, but you're not allowed to be on the sewer. And then you look into the state and you see, well, the state has a huge housing problem. The state's residents' biggest complaint is that nobody can afford a home. Housing prices are absolutely absurd in the state. And the joke when you move here is that all they ever build are these sort of 5 and 10 acre mansions out in the country. And you go, well, that's all they can build. That's
Mhm.
what you can build on a septic tank. You can't build an apartment complex on a septic tank. I mean, technically, I know you can, but nobody wants to. Um, and you can't build a neighborhood in the city or a subdivision even. So what all they're left with is these big houses in the middle of nowhere, which don't get me wrong, I'm grateful they exist. I'm in one. But but the best thing for the housing market would be for that to exist alongside a bunch of new builds within the city and expanding the city limits with
Yeah.
suburbs. And that was essentially legally disallowed for 12 years in 82% of cases. And so, you know, the implications of a single configuration setting in a single system in a single agency are easily in the tens of billions of dollars for real everyday average people,
Mhm.
right? And that's why we do what we do,
Yep,
right?
exactly.
Fixing that system took us a month,
Mhm.
you
Yep.
know? And so this work has an impact, a
Yes, it
huge
does.
outsized impact. And so I leave with that because I think it's just a phenomenal story of how very little bit of inefficiency in government has an absolutely enormous effect.
Yeah. Awesome. Adam Carpenter, thank you so much, sir. Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a great story. You know, you said you should make yourself somebody that people want to work with and people want to work with you. I think you're that guy, Adam.
I try to be. I've tried
I
very
think you
hard
are.
to sort of become that, you know, it doesn't have as I think Jay Leno once said, it doesn't have to be difficult.
That's right.
Mhm.
I like it.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing your expertise with us today. And
Absolutely.
thank you for everybody who is listening in. You can follow us on YouTube to find the recording of this and a bunch of other sessions. We've got another session coming up on Thursday. If anybody wants to join, I put the link in the chat, and we wish you all a wonderful day.
Yeah.
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 Thank you.
Thanks,
Everybody enjoy
everyone.
the holiday season too. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.